guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to make a spaghetti charm on the Rainbow Loom. This is an original design by me, and this is what it's going to look like when it's done. Sorry. Okay, and this is my first video, so sorry for any awkward moments, but okay. So to make this, you're going to need 19 red, I think 13 yellow, or 14, yeah, 14 yellow, sorry about that, and 3 brown pony beads for meatballs. And if you don't have any pony beads, then you can use brown rubber bands, and I'll show you how to do that. So first, let's get started on our meatballs. So we are going to start with putting the meatballs onto the rubber bands so we can use them for later. So basically, you're going to take your brown pony bead, and I'm using like pretty large ones because we're going to have giant meatballs. I mean, who doesn't like giant meatballs? So you're just going to attach it to your hook by just sliding it on there. Whoop-de-doo. Not that hard. And then you're going to take 2 rubber bands, 2 of them, and you're going to put them on the hook of your hook. Like I said, it's my first video. Sorry for any awkward moments. Okay, so like that. You're just going to stretch it. And you're going to slide the pony bead onto the rubber band. Like so. And then it should look like this when it's done. And you're just going to make 2 more of these, so I will be right back with you once I've made those. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to connect, if you're using brown rubber bands, you're going to, I'm going to show you how to connect the brown rubber bands to make the meatballs in your spaghetti. Now, I actually already made the spaghetti, and I watched back the video, and I'm like, oh, I never showed people how to do that, so let's show people how to do that. So, let's pretend that this is brown. So, you're going to take your meatball rubber band, and you're going to wrap it around 4 times on your hook, like that. And your hook should look like this. And now we're going to take 2 rubber bands, and you're just going to kind of stretch them like that. And you're just going to kind of slide. This is a little difficult, but you're going to slide the rubber band, the meatball rubber band, onto the noodle rubber bands. And this is a little difficult, but it is doable. I have done it before. Like I said, sorry for the awkwardness. I'm trying to hold it with my freaking shirt, but it's not working. Okay, we just got one more to bring over. Okay, and it should be connected. I think I just messed it up. I probably just did, but if you actually got it right, then it should, no, wait, maybe I didn't mess it up. It should look like this, but the rubber bands are supposed to be wrapped around 4 times. I just totally messed that up. And I just pulled it off. Wow, I feel really dumb right now. But you know what? If you got it to work, then yay for you. Okay, so I've made my 3 meatball bands, and they should all look like this. If you didn't get it the first time, then you can rewind the video back to the original part where I showed you how to make it. So we're going to start by making the spaghetti sauce on our charm. So like this part, obviously. So let's get started. You're going to take 2 rubber bands, and we're going to be double banding, if you know what that means, if you've done this for a while, and if you don't, that just means wherever I place bands, you're going to place 2 of them. Sorry about that. So, take your first 2 rubber bands, and you're going to place them on these 2 pegs. Like that. And then you're going to take another 2 bands, and, for any rubber bands that I place, you can replace them with meatball bands. I'm going to be using 3, like I said. So, instead of putting 2 rubber bands here, instead, I'm going to take my meatball band, and I'm going to place it on these 2 pegs. Slide your meatball to the middle of it, and it should look like this. A piece of fuzz on it. I don't like when that happens. Anyway, and now we're going to put 3 right here, so right there, and right there. The one right here, on these 2 pegs, we're going to put another meatball band, like that. And then on the other 2 sets of pegs, we're just going to put just plain spaghetti sauce. Sorry about that, my sister left the room. 2 more. like that. Okay. Now our loom should look like this. Okay. And now we're gonna do 3 more. So I'm gonna put my meatball band for these 3 on this one. I could put it in the center because it might look really squished up to this one. And then we're going to take 2 more bands and go right here. And right here. Like that. Easy enough. Okay, and now we're going to get started on our spaghetti. Okay, so now let's get started on our spaghetti. So we're going to take 2 yellow rubber bands, or whatever you want your spaghetti to be. You can make it purple spaghetti for all you want, but I'm going to stick with the natural, original yellow. So I'm going to take my 2 yellow rubber bands, and I'm going to just put them on those 2 pegs, right under the red one in the center. And now we're going to take, seriously, Maggie, she just tried to stick her hand in the camera, sorry. We're going to take 2 more rubber bands, and we're going to put them, stop it, in these 2 pegs. Now we're going to take 2 more. I'm going to put them on these 2 pegs. So now we should have 3 sets of 2 rubber bands right there, right there, and right there. Now we're going to take another 2 rubber bands, yellow, and we're going to put them on those 2 pegs. And now we're going to kind of finish off putting on the main rubber bands. So we're going to take 2 rubber bands, and instead of putting them on these 2 pegs, we're going to put it on these 2 pegs to connect it. So we're going to take our 2 rubber bands and just kind of slap them on those 2 pegs. And finally, we're going to take 2 more and put them on these 2 pegs. Sorry to hear that beep. That was my claw being weird. Okay. So now we're going to put on our holding rubber bands. Okay, so now we're going to start our holding rubber bands. So you're going to take a yellow, and you're going to take it, and you're going to put it on these 3 rubber bands to make a little, oh, come over here, to make a little triangle, like so. Okay. Now you're going to take a red rubber band, and you're going to put it on these 3, like so. And now we're going to take 1 more red and put them on these 3. So now you should have 3 triangles, and your loom should look like this. Okay, so now we're going to put on our last rubber band, and we're going to make a capping rubber band. And if you've done this for a while, then you'll know what it is. If you don't, then you'll see in a second. So you're going to take a yellow. It's going to be the last yellow we place. Yay! And we're going to wrap it around 3 or 4 times on this peg. It doesn't really matter. If you use a fun loom band, then it'll probably be easier to do, oh my gosh, probably 3, because they don't, like I said, they don't stretch that far at all. I'm struggling. You know what? I'm probably just going to do 2. No, I'll do 3. Let's see if I can grab it again. Let me do this, and I will be right back. Okay, so now we have it wrapped around 3 times, so now we can start looping. And if you haven't done looping before, or you haven't made like any of these types of charms before, then this can be a little difficult, but we're gonna start, and it'll get easier once we get the hang of it. So you're gonna reach into your capping rubber bands, like so, pull them back. You should have 3 because we wrapped it around 3 times. If you wrapped it around 4 times, then you should have 4, obviously. So it should look like that. And you're gonna grab the first 2 on the peg. So we're going to grab these 2, and you're going to pull them off of the peg. And do not let go of them, that would be really bad. Okay, and you're gonna loop them to the peg that like the other side of the rubber bands are on. So in my case, they go to here. So you're just gonna attach them to there. And you should see like this little teardrop shape right here. If you see the teardrop shape, you are doing great. So now we're going to reach into our capping rubber band again and grab the next two. If you didn't see the teardrop shape at first, then you might want to re-watch this little part of the video. Okay. So reach into these two. It's being a little uncooperative, I'm sorry. Pull it off the peg. And you're going to loop it to the two that the other side of the rubber band is on. And in my case, it's this side. Once again, you should see the teardrop. And you're finally going to reach down and grab the last two rubber bands. And these should be in the center if you did it exactly like I did. And loop them over. Okay? And now we're going to start looping the sides. So we're going to reach into these and grab the bottom two, not the top two, the bottom two rubber bands. And give me a second. Okay. Reach down, grab your rubber bands, and pull them off the peg, like you did right there. Wait, I think I'm grabbing too many. Nope, I'm not. We're good. Pull it off the peg. Okay, and loop them onto this one. Sorry, I was scared that was going to break for a second, but it's not a fun little band. It's a Rainbow Loom band of the yellow. But whatever. And we're going to take these two and loop them over. Reach down, grab the bottom two again. Loop them over. And then finally reach down, grab the bottom two, and loop them over. And now we're going to do this side. Not the center yet, but this side. So we're going to reach down. Sorry if you can't see, but you're just reaching down and getting the bottom two like we did on this side. And you're going, oh, give me a second. Sorry about this awkward moment. Like I said, I apologized in the very beginning of this video, but okay. Pull them up off of the peg and bring them over here. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Okay, you might need to push down your rubber bands so they don't slide off like they kept doing for me just now. Okay, and you're going to reach down, grab the bottom two. And if you've done this, you can just skip to this. Like if you've done something like this before, like if you've done like any other charm, then you can skip to after this. And now we're gonna grab the bottom two and bring them up. And then take the bottom two and bring them to this center. Like I said, push down your rubber bands so they don't come sliding off, because that'd be really bad. And now we're going to get to the center. So you're going to reach down, grab the bottom two, pull them up, reach down, grab the bottom two, bring them up, reach down and grab the bottom two, and bring them to the center. Oh, wait, one came off. But yeah. Bring it around town. Okay, sorry, but now your loom should look like this. Okay, now we're going to do the final step before we take off the our charm. So you're going to take your hook and you're going to go all the way down through all of the rubber bands. Make sure you don't miss any or else this whole entire thing will mess up. Like I said, we jump through all of them in the center. And you're going to take your final red rubber band, yep, this is where it comes into play, and hook it on. And this step is really important. It keeps all the rubber bands together. And you're going to loop it through all of these rubber bands, like that. Pull back a little bit and attach this side. And we're basically making a slip knot. Now we're going to take this, loop it over, and make a little knot, and pull it in on itself. And now we're basically done with our loom, so now we can take it off the loom. So you're probably going to finish before me because I'm always really, really cautious about this because I'm always scared it's going to break. So the center peg will be the hardest part because, you know, there's obviously a huge chunk of rubber bands on them. I'm going to skip through this because it's going to be really boring. Not really, really boring, but it's going to take me a second. So I'll be right back. I'm just removing all of them from the pegs. Basically like this. Easy enough. So I'll be right back with you. Okay, so now we are done with our spaghetti, and it should look something like this. And if you want to kind of make it look better, you can kind of flatten it out, because I don't think any spaghetti is really, like, just really tall. But again, some of it is. But I'm going to kind of squish it down a little bit, make it smaller. And I kind of like this design because it makes all the things look like noodles. I mean, that's obviously how it always is, but still, I just kind of think that's cool. And I did not now we got two of them. But, I did not actually, figure out if this has been done before. So if this has been done before, I'm sorry. I did not try to steal anyone's design. But this is my design, and if, like I said, if anybody else has done it before, I own no rights to it. This is actually someone else's design if they did it before me. So, yeah. But I hope you liked this video, so please thumbs up, because it's my first one, and I would really appreciate it. And, well, thanks for watching. Bye!